recovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the third season of Health or High Water. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus.
Woo! Well, not the hiatus part, but woo,
Yeah,
third season.
We're in for it today, Leslie.
I think so.
We're both stressed and tired. Like, this is the first episode of third season. Really excited to have you guys back. We were on a hiatus for a little while. January has been kind of hard to get into first gear.
Agreed.
Yeah, we got an amazing podcast for you today, talking a little bit about stress at work, coping mechanisms, and we have a podcast guest, Dr. Mark Allen, coming on next week. That episode will drop probably Wednesday or Thursday of next week, so watch out for that. He is the sports psychologist of the LA Dodgers. It's going to be a great episode with him. Then we have another episode coming up week after next with Dr. Goldberg. She is the ER specialist for geriatrics. It's going to be a really cool episode.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because
I find myself over here nodding. I hope you guys can see it.
Well, they can feel it.
Can you see me nodding?
They can feel it.
I forget. This is not a vlog, everybody.
This is not there is no video here, guys. This
is not a Joe Rogan podcast where it's
tell,
all on video.
I can't tell me people like that are asking questions about coming on, or like, do you have video? Do I need to look like? No, it's audio, and like everyone just gets immediately more at ease.
Yeah, I don't know if that would help our numbers, honestly.
No, not at all.
We have a face for radio.
That is hysterical. So guys, hey, I'm Tripp Parks, the COO of Ascend Performance Training, here with the amazing Leslie Christensen, Gangster DNA, host and now author of the podcast. Welcome to authorship hood.
Thank you. Author. This sounds very official.
It
sounds like I have like skill or talent too. So.
Well, you awesome. Do. Just while you're on the podcast.
How do we turn Gangster DNA into a title?
I think we should make a whole T-shirt. Like run for it, something like that. Well,
I know a guy.
Well, Leslie, let's go ahead and kind of jump into talking about stress at work. We'll kind of dive in.
Oh, please, let's do that.
Sweet. Let's talk about some stress at work. So you guys listening at home, a lot of us are going through insurmountable amount of stress with, rent coming due, groceries are higher than they've ever been, insurance companies dropping people, half of California's on fire, like people getting into plane crashes. It's been a little bit of a crazy start to 2025, and Leslie and I are going to kind of talk about
I love how you come at this real positive. You just go ahead and hit us with all the negative shit right away.
Yeah, just get out of the way, and then it'll be okay.
Wow, I feel real good about myself.
We did this lecture on men's health on Monday at Akoya, and I like the first draft I had of it was so negative. It was like, guys don't take care of themselves and all this. Like, there was like no light at the end of the tunnel. And Brett's like, you should
rethink that.
You should come from a different angle. Like,
thank God for Brett.
Everyone's gonna need Zoloft after that.
Oh my gosh, it's true though. Well, and I think sometimes with the negativity, you don't even realize that you're doing it because it's so habit, or it's just everything is cascading into this nightmare, and you're just like, you just keep. Yeah, you keep doing it, perpetuating it. That's a big word.
That's the right word for it, though. 100%. It's a really good way to put it. And it starts to pile up.
Yeah.
Like,
and then people go, "Well, be positive." I'm like, what does that mean?
Well, it's really hard to be positive when things are falling. You get sick family members at home. Work is stressing you out. Home life isn't isn't going smoothly. Like, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's fight or flight all the time.
Yeah, like just that everyone throws around cortisol all the time, and I think we're all like at a cortisol, like you said, fight or flight situation all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the entire bulk of my body weight is cortisol. Let's be real.
Cortisol.
You're like, what's your how many pounds of bone do I have? Doesn't matter. It's all cortisol.
It's all cortisol.
They say, what, the earth is like 75% water? I'm 75% cortisol. No landmass here, people.
Just straight up cortisol.
No Pangea, none of that. I'm straight cortisol.
My tectonic plates are not moving.
Femur bone? Who's got a femur?
Femur?
Nope. That's cortisol right there. Ouch! You hurt my cortisol.
Your cortisol is released in the brain. No, it's everywhere for me. Well, yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of speak on a little bit of my stressors here. Coming in, then I want to dive because we're in both two different kinds of environments, but I would say
Let's
very
dive into the
very similar
stressors.
stress levels.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Different industries, but
Yeah.
it's still stress at the end of the day.
we both have sick family members at home.
Yeah.
That's been very challenging. That's the nicest
Mhm.
way to put it. Very challenging to get done. Sometimes
Mhm.
you feel like you're the parent and you're
I am the parent.
yeah you
I'm
have
the parent. Yeah, I mean, you got sick family, or you're dealing with elderly parents, or then even the people closest to you are getting sick, or those you live with, or like it's
Yeah.
always something. It's just one thing after another after another. And
well
now it's almost funny. I just kind of joke that it's like living in the Twilight Zone every day. I'm like, every day is Groundhog Day of a full moon. Like,
well it's not that far off because like you get older. As you get older, you start just realizing like how fucked everything is. Not to put it like lightly, but how shitty everything is. Like you start realizing how some family members aren't as good as you thought they were, or your parents didn't have their shit together,
Yep.
or like there's all these different things, and you want to fix it yourself. Like you make sure that
every
you
moment of every day is a what the fuck moment for me. Oh, every day is a what the fuck moment for me.
well, and I love our sessions like when you come in and like you're able to vent a little bit about what's going on at work and those kind of things, and you're able to do it in a physical fitness situation. So like you're not just venting, but you're able to let it out physically. And I think
You're
a lot of
so cute with that.
what
Because I know that that's what you guys all get off on, but let's be real. I have yet to come across that gene in me. Apparently, my cortisol gets in the way because
Yeah, I think
I
so.
do not get excited about working out. I think we've touched on this before. I think I'm broken.
well, no, that's true, but I think you do leave feeling better.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
It's probably because I was here harassing you, giving you shit.
whatever helps.
Nothing makes me feel better than tormenting the people I love.
We were actually talking about this before the episode started.
If I could just poke. Can I poke you till you feel as bad as I do? And then I'm going to leave here with a smile.
Yes. Because at least they feel like I do.
Oh, God. Freestyle.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a guest come on right now, but there's some scheduling issues going on, so Leslie and I really had to.
That feels like my life, too.
Yeah.
Stress, scheduling, work, people.
Well,
My
maybe.
schedule is I don't. Y'all ever seen a Black Widow's web? That is my life. It is that chaotic cluster.
Oh.
A Black Widow's web's all janky.
It looks haggard as shit.
That's my life. You and it's attached barely to two little corners of something. But the whole middle of it is like
The wind's whipping it around.
menagerie of trash. Shout out to all the Black Widows out there.
Marvel. Let's kind of dive into the scheduling kind of part of it because that's something I struggle with. It's something that most people struggle with. It's like staying on a program.
Mm-hmm.
I think getting into like the hell loop of it, of trying to do something healthy, like hey, I'm gonna be drinking more water, working out more, and then something gets in the way, like a sick family member, you have to drop what you're doing, and then you just stop doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get right back to where you were to begin with.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I've been struggling with that in my head too. I think I have been pretty consistent. Like, I have still been showing up. There have been days where crazy stuff's happened, or
Yeah.
one of us is sick, or something's going on. But I don't really know. I guess it's just routine. I guess it's just the ritual of it. I keep doing it. I'm like, if I don't do it, I know it's gonna be real bad. I'm gonna go from 75% cortisol to 90. So, but yeah, in my head, I do, and I will. Like, if I don't show up one day or something, the whole time I'm like, okay, I have to show up tomorrow. I have to show up tomorrow. I have to show up tomorrow. Like, I don't know. There's something about the ritual of it that has been good for me, I guess. I mean, it's taken me 2 years to get to that point. Because if this was like 6 months into this, and and things were going crazy, and I started canceling or whatever, it would just be a repetitive thing over and over.
Well, and I do think because of having sick family members and being, I guess, around us and talking about health issues that are going on, I think it makes it a lot easier to get our butt to the gym. It's like, hey, like, I don't want to turn out like my mom with a stroke.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I want to do, and the best way that I can do to prevent that is just take care of myself. Go to the gym as much as I can. Try to eat as right as you can. Drink enough water. Like
all of these solutions are lame, Tripp.
they're not sexy. Okay.
Everybody out there's like, why did we invite her to the Health or High Water podcast? This girl wants to sit at a coffee shop all day.
Why doesn't everyone just take Ozempic and call it a day?
Because I want to poop this week. I don't really want bowel obstruction.
Wasn't it like really painful too, the injections?
They're not really. I mean, it's just a little shot in your belly. It's not that big of a deal. The testosterone shots are more painful.
They are?
Really, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, we're just seeing so much like crap come out about that, and now insurance companies are about to start paying for it.
And that's crazy too. Maybe for diabetics.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's that's a whole thing. That's a different podcast, Tripp.
That might be a different
podcast. We're
podcast.
talking about stress. I think. I don't know.
We'll transition from that. Like, shortcuts don't work, right? Like
No.
you putting in these 2 years has I think it's changed you for the better, right?
I guess.
You've grown. I see you've grown a lot.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're not the same person I met 2 years ago in that tropical smoothie.
Yeah, I definitely have changed. I'm definitely not the same person I was. I don't know why that is. I've done a lot of work though. You've got to put in the work. And that's, I think, when you're first starting this, it feels daunting. It feels exhausting. It feels like you can't do any of this shit. And for me, I want it done tomorrow. Like, I want it I want it to be a fast fix. And that's kind of the society we live in.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen that way. So every single day I have to work at it. Every single day I have to focus on it. Every single day I need to talk to my therapist. Even though I don't. But I almost do. It's like, I don't know. It's really hard. We don't give ourselves any grace either.
No.
So the second you mess up one time or you do something that is not the way you expect it to be, you just beat yourself up. I know I do for sure.
Yeah.
And the start of this year has been rough. And even the last year I feel like has been really rough. Because weren't we not talking about this shit like in October on the one podcast I was on? Or was that January?
Oh, was that a year ago?
With Bethany.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long?
So it's been a whole nother year of me continuing to beat up on myself.
Well, I think there's a testament for, not testament really, but I think that's a good example of life doesn't get easier. We just have to get tougher.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no other way to put it.
You just have to figure out ways to deal with it and deal with it in healthy ways. And I don't know if I'm there. But I guess I have been better about not really beating up on myself. I want to say that out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have.
I don't know. It's never going to be what I envision as perfect. Because like I said, perfect just does not exist.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone has this down. Right? I don't think anyone has it down, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you're taking a good old stab at it. Hey, I'm trying to drink more water. I'm trying to go out and work out more. Like you said, like a lot of us don't give ourselves enough grace because we are bombarded on social media and TV with these like perfect bodies
and social media and people in general are like, oh, well, you're not doing it perfect right now, this very second. Like this idea of baby steps, this mentality that you have to quit everything all at one time that's ridiculous. Like, you don't work that way.
No.
You just have to make small changes, and maybe by the year 2050, I will be a better person. We'll see.
Well, you're already a better person. It's like you said, like you've been taking the baby steps, your consistency.
Maybe I'll fit into an extra large next year. Let's see, people.
Stay tuned for next year's January episode.
Listen, potties. Next year we're going to measure everybody.
Listen, potties.
Potties. My potties. Not with a T, with a D. Pod-ease.
That's why it's so funny, though. It just sounds like it. It's like, what's up, my told peoples?
What's up, my potties?
Remember to flush. But yeah, we're supposed to get tougher. Like that's the whole deal. Like if we started off perfect, there'd be no point to life.
You know what's something crazy for me in my mind is like having that vulnerability with somebody too, because I'm not very good at being vulnerable even with my own spouse. Like I'm just this tough woman in my mind and I should be able to handle this and that. I'm a mom to boys. I work in an industry that is male dominated. Like I'm expected to almost be male like, and so there is no room for vulnerability with any of that.
Right.
And then I think as much can't even believe I'm going to say this out loud. Being able to be vulnerable with someone like you, or like with Corey, that's my counselor, everybody, because I need
Shout
her.
out.
Shout out, Corey, for making me better. For teaching me where to put the crazy people on my bus. But I feel like there's been more growth in myself being able to be vulnerable and being like, this sucks and I don't know how to fix this and what's wrong with me. And it's so weird that I said that, but it's true. That's, that vulnerability, that's a hard one. You have to find the right person to even share that with.
No, I 100% agree, because I feel like the ego, like just as a generality, not everyone is like super egotistical, but it seems like ego has just run rampant, especially in America.
Yep.
Right, and we don't have that ability to perceive or look into ourselves and be like, hey, listen, like I'm not a good person doing this. I need to change this. I probably should be hanging out with this person. That's just doesn't seem to happen very often, you know. And that I think that's why it's been so hard for me to date, is because everyone is so much about themselves that I'm scared that if I date these certain
people. And then even your own ego gets in the way too.
100%.
There you go. It's just a whole, you can't be vulnerable. But then, okay, you don't really want to walk into the first date and be super vulnerable right off the bat.
No, there's
there's levels of what you should share.
100%. First date. So tell me about yourself. Well, my grandpa's beat with a baseball bat. My mom had a stroke. It's like that kind of vulnerable. It's just laid on the table.
And Leslie bitched all day long. Bitched about working out. But sick of this shit.
There is levels of vulnerability and comfortability, right? But that takes work. Mm-hmm. That takes solid work of, showing up every day, making that communication happen, not just in the gym, outside of the gym.
Yep.
It's that's a really good point you brought up there.
Yep.
Like, that's a really good point, because that's the first thing I have to get out of the way with people with working out.
Well, and I even think working out with a trainer with you is like, it is very personal.
Yeah.
I don't, hence the term personal training.
I guess they did it right.
But it's more personal, I think, than people realize. I think some of these people go, oh, you have a trainer, like just what you go, he has you work out. And I'm like, no, it's more than that. Because you're ultimately becoming intimately involved with somebody, and intimately involved with somebody with their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And where they suffer with, and their self-esteem, and all of these other things. And you are your own version of a therapist, really. Yeah. I was like, and most people don't, like, do that with everyday people. Like,
no. When
I'm at work, like, people don't. That's not how it works. So your job is unique in that.
This 100%. This is the hardest job I've ever done. By any means, the hours are the worst ever. Absolutely terrible.
Worse than retail people.
I did that too. That's close second.
Listen, potties, I text him a lot.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because, like, with this job, I go to Christmas dinners. You've invited me over to your house before. Like, with this job, like, you get to be lifelong friends with people.
Yeah.
And it's very unique with that. There's not many other. No. I wouldn't invite my mechanic to a party. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. Would you get a good deal on something? I might invite him.
Depends how much his oil filters are. You always can tell if they're shoddy with their oil filter price.
What do you mean my battery's $250? Shut up.
Just
Come to my house for dinner. Can I get the wholesale discount?
Yeah, can I get the wholesale?
I'm not above it.
It's such a funny thing to think about. Like, yeah, personal trainers, like, a lot, like, even with Brett, like, he's friends with all of his clients, like, goes to their house, hangs out. That doesn't happen in other industries, really, unless you're, like,
really.
Trying to, schmooze someone.
Yeah, especially not in a corporate environment.
No, not at all. You leave things at work,
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, like, you text me outside of work, like, things spill over because problems happen outside of the gym.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just come here and bitch. We know this about me. I'm not sure Tripp has really spoken through any of our training sessions except to correct my counting.
I just breathe and count.
And I'm on 8 again. 8?
Eight.
I'm on 8.
I forget someone else I was training a few weeks ago that got stuck on 8 also.
8 is my number I get stuck on. I don't know why. Because that's where I can count to 8 and then my conversation has drifted off into something else. And then I'm on 8 again.
I don't know if you remember this. Like, this is one of our first.
Have I ever been quiet through a workout?
No, never.
Let's think about that.
When you're feeling kind of bad, you're a
Let's
little more
take a
quiet.
moment of silence for that.
And it's over.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever shut up through an entire.
One of our first sessions.
You're lucky if you get to talk. Kind
know.
of like now.
But one of our first sessions, like, we were working out, and, like, it was the middle of a set, and you're talking through it, and I was like, make sure you breathe. You're like, I'm paying for this session. I'm gonna talk if I want. And I was like, I will never mention that again. It never happened again.
You do this though. You go, come on. Come on. Because I'm doing every tactic I can in the book to avoid doing what you want me to come on and do.
My favorite one with you is the PowerPoint. Like, I'll just point at something really hard. Like, come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. One more set. No,
I did 5. No, I think it was 4.
4. Okay, you might be right. That was our conversation this morning.
You guys are getting, like, real time, like. You guys are getting nitty gritty here, guys. First episode of season 3, so we're just getting into it.
Off the chain.
Jimmy was off the hook. Oh, shoot.
What are we talking about?
Stress, schedules.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Training, all the things.
There's a lot of stress going on. And, it was funny. My last conversation with Corey, we were talking. I always do this. I'm like, well, things are crazy right now, but it'll get better once this is over, and this is over, and that's over. And she's like, do you know how long you've been saying that to me? And I'm like, probably a year. And she's like, it's not changing. It's not getting any better. She's like, so, you just kind of need to accept that that's what your situation is, or subtract yourself from it. And that's what I've been working on, like, stress-wise, because I'm one of these, like, I don't know. Some people would call it an empath. I don't want to get all hippie with you people, but, like, I do feel the energy in a room. I do kind of absorb myself into that energy. I do take on that energy. I do get all crazy with it. I get into the chaos, and the next thing I know, I'm sucked into this tornado.
Right.
Like, tornado of stress and chaos, and I don't know what's going on, and I will catch myself. I notice it that I'm caught up in it when I talk to someone outside of it. For example, my husband. I will call him and I'm like, and this lovely man of mine now goes, okay, that's enough. It's just too much. And that's when I've gone, oh, I really have let myself get sucked back into this tornado. So now I'm trying meditation. People, listen, potties, it's all right. It's kind of working out. It's kind of not. I do feel better when I do it. And I have, like, a little 12-minute meditation I listen to where I sit there, I'm in my space, I'm listening to it.
Is this morning or night?
Usually I've been doing it when I get home, or anytime I feel like things are, like, I'm spinning out of control. So I've been doing that, which is helpful. But what I've been doing, like, at work or any other situations when I've started to notice myself being sucked into the tornado, I'll close my eyes and imagine myself sitting outside of it.
Okay.
And I see all the chaos, I see all the tornado happening, and I'm just sitting there crisscross applesauce. And I decide, I pick and choose from the tornado, what it is that I'm going to deal with. It's a silly little visualization, but there's something about it that like centers me, I guess. Because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not sucked into the tornado. I'm not spinning around in it. I'm just picking and choosing what I need to deal with in that moment.
Well, I think that's
And it's
super important. I think that's an amazing
Yeah.
thing to do.
Did I tell you how Chris busted me at work meditating? This is so hilarious. Now, God love Chris. I don't
So
think
guys, Chris is Leslie's boss.
Chris is the boss. Hey, boss. How are
Captain
you? Shout out.
Chaos.
Captain Chaos comes in my office. I'm sitting in there on the couch. And he's like, namaste. And I was like, I said, I'm just trying not to kill people. I was like, I'm trying not to kill people. That's what I'm doing here. And he's like, okay, no, really, what's going on? I think it scared him a little bit. But I was like, no, I needed 5 minutes to separate myself from whatever was going on. Because there is so much going on in my work life right now.
Yeah.
It is insane. And I handle multiple companies, and
Yep.
so there's a lot of different factors and personalities and things going on all the time. Chris loves that shit. He loves it.
Thrives off it.
Yeah, it's a straight like addiction for him. I don't
There's
know.
some people that are.
He handles it. He does what he does. I call it the Chris MF Hawk. It's the Chris motherfucking Hawk shit. That's what he does, and he's great at it. But I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm training myself on how to step back and how to get away from it, because sometimes that chaos is almost like addiction. Like when he leaves or everything leaves, a situation leaves, and that warehouse is quiet, like you instantly are like, oh my God, what am I going to do with myself? And so I've been training myself to be, I don't know, calm.
And that's easier said than done too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and there could be days where, well, for example, like when I get really stressed, I'll walk around the block once.
Yeah.
Done.
And you know what's crazy is that's just my work life that
Yeah.
makes me that insane. And then when you start thinking about your personal life, and unfortunately, my professional life and personal life bleed together.
Yeah.
They're just one big, giant tornado that I'm sitting outside of. I mean, ultimately, that's how I met Chris, was personally. Like, they did a remodel for us, and then now, so this line of professional and personal constantly cross. And really, what you see of me at work is what you see of me at home. Like, I'm not really much of a different person. I don't change, but I do have a whole nother life at home, and kids and family, and things get crazy.
Well, one thing I'm really proud of you on, especially this past 2 years, is your ability to. It's been hard for you. Don't
Count
get me
to
wrong, huh?
Count to 8.
No, you're starting to like put up boundaries on things, right?
Which potties, as we all know and we've discussed, I'm a people pleaser. I do not do boundaries well, but I'm working on it.
Well, and like working on the weekend, stuff like that. Like, hey, listen, I need Saturday and Sunday to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And putting up, hey, listen, I can't get anything done these 2 days.
I just have stopped responding.
Yeah, and that's really healthy.
Yeah.
It's
They chit chat with me as friends, great. And then all of a sudden they text me a work thing, and then they wonder why I don't. I wonder if they're thinking in their head, that bitch ghosted me. No, you started talking about work at 8:30 on a Saturday. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's that's really healthy.
You want to talk about your outfit at the club? Okay.
Yeah, dope.
At the club, but I don't want to hear about what's
No.
going on at the warehouse.
No, not at all. And I think that for those of you who are listening that are, you know, if any of this is resonating with you about like stress is bleeding over into home life, is start putting up boundaries. It's hard.
It's very hard. And it's not, you know, and you can talk to people about your boundaries and tell them about what your boundaries are. Doesn't mean that they're not going to try to overstep them. I think the problem is internally is you holding on to your boundary. Is me holding my boundary is hard.
Yeah.
Because in the past, and then I will get frustrated and irritated and agitated at the person that is pushing my boundary, because I don't stand up and go, hey, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This is my boundary. And so I get irritated at them, even though it's my own internal deal.
Yeah.
Some of it has just been conversationally how I word things.
Mm-hmm.
I have been trying not to say I can't do that, or I I can't. I've been trying to do I don't. I don't. So that's what I've been trying to do a lot more lately, is saying I don't. Like, I don't work on Saturdays, or I don't. I was going to say I don't drink on Friday, but that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it really kind of just changing your language a little bit. And when you say I don't, it doesn't leave them any room to push you. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
when you say I can't do this, oh,
Why?
well, why can't you?
Exactly.
Well, what if we do this, and what if you do that, or what if that? You know, or I can't go out tonight. Well, why not? Well, what are you doing? But when you say I don't go out on Tuesdays, they usually don't push that boundary.
Yeah, because there's a solid line in the sand.
Yeah.
Like it's hey, okay, they don't do that at
Yeah.
all.
I don't cut checks on Fridays.
Well, and this
I said that, but after I cut checks today.
well, it's also too. It's a gradual thing, right? It's not like you're putting up boundaries the first day, right? You start off with, hey, someone steals your sandwich at work or something like that, confronting them. Like you just start off kind of small.
Yep.
And build your way up to that. It doesn't just happen
Yeah.
just like with consistency with working out and
And
stuff.
it's messy. I'm not very
It
good
is
at
messy.
it. And, you know, I'm sure I've stepped on people's toes and
Fuck them.
whatever. But
And
and I don't have nearly the boundaries I feel like I should have.
But you've come a long way though.
But I was like, I'm just trying some of these on for size people.
Yeah.
We'll just see. I hope they're like leggings and stretch a little.
Well, all right, we're getting towards the end here. Thank you guys so
we
much.
didn't even talk about any of the stuff that we said we were going to talk about.
I know. It's a freestyle for you.
We freestyle.
We freestyle horde.
We didn't talk about coping mechanisms.
We just have more to talk about later, you know?
Coping with stress, everybody. Just meditate. Everybody visualize yourself outside of my tornado.
Or you could meditate like me and just sit in traffic and punch your balls.
Oh, God. No.
Just sitting there, just beat them up. Like,
Nope. That's terrible.
don't do that. That was a joke. Don't do that.
You just ruined our whole podcast. Now everybody has a visual of that.
Punching myself.
Okay, go. Everybody revert back to the tornado visual.
This is Tripp. Welcome to Jackass.
Oh, my God.
All right, just want to give a huge shout
I hope
out.
we can re-record this.
There'd be a lot of editing on this one. Leslie, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, I'm an author.
You're an author now. Leslie is not just a host anymore for the podcast. She's officially an author.
I don't know if any of us know what that means.
Well, it's
Let's get a definition. Do I get a check out of this? What the fuck's going on?
Oh
here?
yeah,
I
your
don't
royalties will
understand.
be 2 cents every month. That's how much we make. It's like, oh, 10
please.
cents this month?
You guys
Sweet.
can't afford all this anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll just do it as a freebie. Pro bono, like I'm an attorney or something.
Boner? What?
Oh my God.
Well, all right, guys. Thank
We
you
need
guys.
to get Tripp a date. Anybody single out there who's
Yeah, should love it.
desperate to train somebody on their boundaries?
All right, guys. It's been such a good episode here. I want to give it a shout out for Ascend Performance Training. Go check us out. We also have some blogs that accompany this podcast. Shout out to some of our retirement communities that we've been doing lectures at, men's health, hip health. So if you guys are listening to this episode and you guys are a part of a retirement community here in the Denver area or metropolitan area, give us a call. We'd love to come speak and even do some boxing classes if you guys want to. We're also doing a New Year deal for personal training. If you do 20 sessions, we're going to do 40% off. Boom.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Do repeat customers get that? Because I want it.
You have you pay the least.
I
out
have
of
the OG.
Anyone.
I have
You
the OG.
pay the least out of
Okay.
anyone.
Yeah, I know how to con you people.
Well, I told you I'd never change it. You're the A1 day one, so
This is true.
this is what you get for being consistent. And
Now I'm an author.
now you're an author.
See?
Guys,
Perks.
Consistency is king. Any last words?
Oh my gosh. No, I'm sure I could come up with something, but we'll leave it at that, everybody.
All right.
Thanks to all the potties out there.
Thanks, guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, tell your cousins, friends, best friend, post this all over the internet. We need your help to spread
Oh, we need
this.
to shout out to your Chris, though.
Oh, yeah,
I
Chris,
know.
you're listening?
Yep.
Guarantee you're listening. Shout out to Chris. You are awesome. I will see you this afternoon.
Hi.
Hey.
Good luck getting in your sports bra.
All right, peace.
It's a great meme.